Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 82 of Cute the Love Letters, and this one is titled Relay Battle Part 2. That's very good, Momo said, impressed that her fellow teammates were being so proactive. She then turned to Ida, who was walking close by, and waved to him to come over so that she could talk to him. You're the fastest on our team, she said quietly. What do you think would work best for you? Going last? If we disarm and disable all the robots so you don't have to worry about them? That would be ideal, he said with a firm nod of his head. But if it slows everyone else down to be engaging and neutralizing the robots, then we must consider their speed as well. Good point, Momo said, pressing her finger to chin while she thought. I wonder what plan Yin has from her end. She'll be given the baton first. Back at your end, most of your teammates had come up with a plan. As long as they knew the vague direction to run in, they would be fine. Your only concern was Denki, who you knew had a rather large drawback if he used his quirk. Denki, do you think you and I should go together? You asked him. If you end up using your quirk to jam the robots and go overboard, you'll be stuck in the bush not knowing where to go. Yeah, that's a good idea actually, Mina piped up, walking over to assist the conversation. But then you need to run twice, Yin, she said, because you can't say that you and Denki were a single run. We'll be disqualified. You hummed. I would need to get back here super quickly, and I don't think turning into a fairy and flying would make me any faster. Also, I'm liable to get eaten by a bird or something if I'm in fairy form for too long and flying around out in the open. Wait, Mina said suddenly. Ida is on the other end of our team, right? Ida it, Denki suddenly said excitedly. Oh, speed, you said with excitement. You knew what Ida it was. Okay, maybe Denki and I will go first as the possible slow team, and then I'll catch a ride on Ida for the way back and can tell him where to go. I have an idea too, Komori said as she bounced into the conversation. I'll give you some mushrooms to drop along the way so you can follow a trail back here. That's great, you said ecstatically. We're ready for this. Aizawa and Vlad gave you about 10 more minutes before go time, and then Vlad walked over to you and handed you the bright, pink, lightweight baton, noting that you were also holding some bright red mushrooms in your other hand, as was Denki. Okay, he said. Take this. When you hear the start bell, you can run. Okay, you said, standing with Denki beside you. Are you both running? Vlad asked. You do realize you all have to do a run at least once for it to count, and you can't run with someone else. You'll have to do another run on your own if this one is counting as his run, Vlad said, pointing at Denki. I know, sir. I have a plan, he said with a smile, and he nodded. Okay, good luck, he added. You both thanked him and then waited nervously for the start bell to ring. All your senses were tingling now, feeling for that bell. Suddenly a loud buzzer sounded and you looked up, waiting for the flare from Momo. There it is, you said to Denki as soon as you saw the pink flare heading skyward, and Denki grabbed your hand eagerly. Let's go, he shouted, running into the bush, heading straight for the flare. Good luck, you two, Komori shouted after you. Go, Yin! Go, Denki! Mina shouted. You can do this, Ribbit! Zuru called, their cheering being backed by the others on the team who were also shouting and whistling their support. We can do this, you thought, as you headed in as straight a line as possible, dodging trees but also keeping one eye on the sky for that flare trail. Denki was keeping an eye out for any robots, and so far so good, but he knew that they wouldn't be sitting in plain sight either. That would be too obvious. As you ran, you dropped a mushroom, putting them in places you felt would be really obvious, but also hoping that none of the forest creatures would come by and eat them. I think we're making too much noise around here for any creatures to want to be close, you thought as you dropped another one. As the mushroom fell to the ground, you stumbled, your stumble pulling on Denki's hand and making him duck a little, but as you both bobbed your heads down, you heard something whiz overhead, and Denki reached out to pull you close and shield over you. What was that? You asked, having heard the noise above you. I think it was one of the robots shooting at us, he said, as he kept his arm over your head. Keep down. I'll look around. You felt him crouch up a little bit, and then heard another shooting sound and flinched. Yep, he said as he ducked back down again. There's a robot to our left. It's still a distance away, but it's seen us. If we get up and run, do you think it will follow us? You asked. Yeah, it's got some kind of tracker in it, he said as he looked up again and got shot at again. It can sense when I'm there. Just then you heard mechanical whirring start up and a dull thudding following the sound, and you looked at Denki. "It's coming this way," he hissed after looking up and seeing it moving towards you both. "Okay, we need to stop it because if we don't, we're going to get shot at and lose points," you replied. "Do I have to use my quirk so early on?" Denki panicked. "No, I have an idea. I can make myself small enough to fly inside of it and pull a wire out," you said. "But you just need to keep safe until then. I don't know if it's got a heat-seeking ability, but if you stay out of its sight, you should be fine, right?" "We don't have time," Denki panicked. "Quick, I'll try and distract it while you attack it," he said, and you nodded and made yourself into a fairy, shrinking down and then quickly flying around behind a tree and using it as coverage as you slipped from tree to bush to tree to get around behind the robot so as not to be seen. It appeared that the robot hadn't seen you and was only focused on Denki, which was good as it gave you time to get right around behind it and slip between the neck part and the body part of the machine and find a wire to pull. Thankfully, the mechanics of this machine were easy, and you grabbed for any wire that you could touch and yanked it, pulling 2 out in one go. The machine made a funny noise and then shut down, and you quickly flew back out and around to where Denki was hiding behind a tree. Quick as a flash, you switched back to human form and grabbed his hand. "Let's go," you said excitedly, elated that you had managed to sort that robot out super fast. He grinned and pushed off the tree. "Let's go, cutie," he replied, running with you as you took off again. There were 2 more robots that you came across and narrowly missed getting shot at, but you managed to neutralize them too. "Do you think we're getting close?" you panted at him as you continued to run, getting low on your mushroom drop supply as well. "I don't know," he panted in reply. "Should we call out to see if anyone replies?" What if the robots can sense us?" you asked. "It should be okay," he replied. "Momo!" he shouted into the bush. "Are you around here?" You both stopped running for a second to listen, but there was no reply. "Damn," he grunted, still panting heavily. Just as you started to move again, you heard a noise and stopped. "Wait, Denki, I think there's another But your sentence was cut short as a flurry of red-dyed pellets shot at you and Denki, and you both had to hit the ground heavily. "Oh, damn. This one's an automatic?" Denki hissed. You slowly popped your head up and looked around to locate the robot and saw that it was a different-looking one to the previous ones. "It's a different model," you said to him as you ducked back down again. "It looks newer. I can't see any openings in this one. I'll try and see if I can shrink down and get inside of it, but if not, we might need to look at outrunning it, or you might need to use your quirk." "Oh, damn," Denki grunted. Neither of those options sound good." Ooh, we'll see how they go. Stay tuned for chapter 83 coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.